Welcome to the 2013-2014 school year. My name is Leslie Murto, and I'm the Director for Elementary Mathematics. I would like to talk with you about some of the changes that we have made in the math curriculum for this school year. In June of 2012, the state approved new standards for math in K-8. Last year, we taught the current TEKS, and we also embedded the new standards that were aligned with the current TEKS. For the 2013-14 school year, we are moving forward with implementing the new standards in kindergarten through second grade. The primary focal areas in kindergarten are understanding counting and cardinality, understanding addition as joining and subtraction as separating, and comparing objects by measurable attributes. We must ensure that when students leave kindergarten, they have a solid foundation of counting and cardinality, so that students can apply the meaning of number to create strategies for solving problems and responding to practical situations involving addition and subtraction. In kindergarten through grade 8, the new TEKS start with the mathematical process standards. Please note that each knowledge and skills statement includes the words mathematical process standards. For example, K2, numbers and operations. The student applies mathematical process standards to understand how to represent and compare numbers, the relative position and magnitude of the whole numbers, and the relationship within the numeration system. The process standards are not taught separately. They describe ways in which students are expected to engage in the content. The expectation is that students apply, communicate, analyze, and justify mathematical ideas. Please make sure you receive a copy of this document from your principal, campus math specialist, or instructional specialist. Because the numbering system is similar to that of the old standards, it's important to note that this is the document that we'll be referring to as we are talking about the new TEKS. Because we are teaching the new TEKS, it's important to point out that some of the old TEKS are completely going away. The TEKS that refer to sequencing, ordinal numbers, fractions, patterns, some TEKS in geometry, and measurement are completely going away. Again, when you think about the focal areas in kindergarten, it revolves around counting and cardinality and developing a robust sense of number. Because those old TEKS have completely gone away, it is important that you do not teach them this year. Only teach the new standards. All the documents, including the SAS and the planning guides, have been updated to reflect the new TEKS. Take a few minutes to look at the SAS. The scope and sequence, or SAS, is very similar to last year. It gives you an overview of what the entire year looks like. The gray box at the bottom of each week indicates the fluency that you should be working on. I will talk more about fluency in just a few minutes. Also note that the TEKS listed by category reflect the new TEKS or the new standards. Please get out your planning guide for Unit 1 so that you can refer to this as I'm talking about it. The components of the planning guide are the same as last year. So we have unit expectation, terms and expressions, mathematical process standards, and TEKS focus, unpacking the concepts, the actual planning guide, and the additional resources. What is new is the language actually reflects that written in the new standards. Math Unit 1, Number Base 10 for kindergarten is 37 days long. In 37 days, you are working on representing and comparing whole numbers, the relative position and the magnitude of whole numbers, and the relationship to 10. Please read the expectations of where we want kids to be at the end of this unit. For terms and expressions, we want students to have ownership of those words. They know exactly how to use them and when to use them in the context of the math classroom. The mathematical process standards are divided into application skills, communication skills, and reasoning skills. Remember, the mathematical process standards are integrated into the content and not taught separately. The TEKS focus actually lists each TEK that you'll be teaching throughout this unit. Unpacking the concepts gives you a deeper look into the meaning of what each student expectation means. Please take some time as you're starting each unit to read through the Unpacking the Concepts. As a teacher, it's really important to understand the depth of the student expectation and where it needs to go within each concept. Please take a few minutes to look at the planning guide. We felt that it was important to give kindergarten a week to set up routines and actually practice counting and evaluate where students are in the counting process. Please use the lesson resources for daily routines and counting as you plan for week 1. Week 2 starts with count, read, write, represent, and understand and recognize numbers to 10. Fluency is listed on the planning guide in blue. This will be a folder that will have documents in it that you could run off to address fluency in your classroom. Please make sure you gather all the resources before starting Unit 1. Because RISD is a diverse district, it's important that you evaluate where students are, look at the lessons, and see where you might need to go with students. Look at the additional resource page. The Unit 1 additional resources and Grade K Base 10 Center Ideas are both listed in blue on this document. When you are in Edline, you can click on the additional resources and it will take you to the folder, or you can click on the Grade K Base 10 Center Ideas and it will take you to the document. The additional resources include other resources that could be used for enrichment or reteaching. Each unit will have a list of literature connections and technology connections corresponding to the concepts being taught within that unit. This year, we will focus on fluency in kindergarten through 6th grade. Fluency in mathematics is developed as students acquire a robust sense of number. The book, Adding It Up, it defines fluency as the skill in carrying out procedures flexibly, accurately, and appropriately. In order to attain automaticity, it takes rehearsal and practice. The last thing I would like to share with you are the RISD Math Fluency Goals. Please take a minute to look at the kindergarten fluency goals. By the end of the year, every student in your classroom needs to be able to count objects from 1 to 20, to recite numbers from 1 to 100 from any number by ones and by tens. Recognize numerals 1 to 20. Write numerals 1 to 20. Instantly recognize structured arrangements from 1 to 10. And recognize number words from 0 to 10. As you are planning your math block, please think about how you're going to address each of these fluency goals. In kindergarten, you are building the foundation for students to be successful for the rest of their math career. Some of the fluency resources available for kindergarten are Number Talks and the Basic Number Club. You are not limited to just use these resources. If you have other resources you would like to use, you are welcome to do that. At the end of the year, you need to make sure that students are able to meet the fluency goals for that particular grade level. This year, we will go through a textbook adoption. If this is something you think you are interested in, please let your principal know, and when the information comes down in October, they can submit your name. Have a great school year, and do not hesitate to contact the math department if you have any questions or need any clarification on the new standards.